Alright, it's Barry and today I'm going to show you some really great ideas for making some home food growing hanging baskets. So one of the most common things that you get when you're growing fruits and vegetables and flowers and things is the amount of space that you've got on the ground, and that's what usually is the limiting factor when you're growing things. So you've got maybe your garden or allotment, or even you've just got like a porch or a balcony. Maybe if you've got an apartment, maybe you'll have a balcony or a window. So yeah, it's really does limit how much stuff you can grow. So a really great thing that you can do if you've only got a small amount of space is use hanging baskets and containers maybe that you can attach to a wall to put not just flowers in but also your food plants. So today I'm going to make hanging baskets, and I'm going to put whatever I can find in. I've got absolutely loads of plants that need somewhere to live, so I'm going to make some hanging baskets today and mix them up a bit so that we've got some different types of things growing in different baskets and see how they get on. So it's a really great idea, like I say, if you do want to grow some food but you're not quite sure where to put it, because you can just stick a hook onto any wall really and just hang one of these up. So yeah, it'd be really great, and in a couple of weeks time you'll have loads and loads of food, and you can just go and pick what you want from your hanging basket and eat it straight away, and it tastes much better than the stuff you get in the shops. So I really do recommend it, and it's also not going to cost you that much money. Maybe if you've not got the plants already grown, you can just go down the shop or the garden centre and pick a couple up, maybe normally like £1 or £2, depending on where you go really, and you can get some really great plants there just to stick in there. Or you can even just try next year. Maybe this will give you an idea for next year. You can start growing your plants early on in the year, sort of springtime, and then get them ready for putting into your hanging baskets later in the year. But yeah, let's go and find some plants, get those made. Right, here we go. Here's a bit of the plants I've got left over. Just get in here. Yeah, I've got all my cabbages and things that I've got left. Didn't have anywhere to put them, so I'm still trying to work out somewhere to stick those. Loads of cucumber plants, I'm going to put some of those in. Got loads of strawberries, and then I've got some tomatoes and lettuces and things, so let's take these over and see how we get on. Also on this side of the polytunnel I've got a hedgehog. He's living in there, or she, sorry. Made a big nest out of all my cardboard that I was using as the weed lining. So he's pulled it all under there, shredded it all up, took it all in there. She's sleeping in there. I've got loads of videos actually. I'll stick one of those on now, but I'll make a big update on that one at some point. Yeah, so I can't disturb any of that side now, so I've got all my rubbish and everything there. My plan was to move all that stuff, but I can't now. So yeah, it's got look at the state of them broad beans there. They were put there at one point because they was going to get put in, and then they've just sort of been left because I can't water them either, because obviously I don't want to cover it in water. So yeah, they're just going to have to stay there and die now. Well, more than they already are. Just have to really carefully water my grapevine there, because it's doing really well. Yeah, it's growing really well up there, so I've got to be really careful because it's decided to build all the nest around it, but if I just water it close, it's not too bad. Right, so I've got everything I need. I've got it all here together now. I've got my basket, and then I've got some assorted plants. I've got my compost as well. As mentioned in my other videos, this is just normal grow bag compost, because the compost I got this year wasn't very good and not doing any of my plants any favours. So I've got this grow bag compost, and that's going to be absolutely fine. I've got a strawberry plant. Got these last year at the garden centre for 10p each. So yeah, they weren't looking very lively, let's put it that way, but they've been outside all the way through winter. Not even had them covered up, and they've come back this year and they're looking smashing, so absolute bargain with those. Might as well load up on them. I've got absolutely tons. As you'll have seen earlier on in that box, got a cucumber plant. Got loads of these left over as well. So I'm going to chuck one of those in. Hopefully that'll either grow up or trail down. We'll see. I've got this tomato plant. It's a Cherry Falls. It's looking quite nice actually. So I'd rather use that now while it's still looking a bit on the better side. Somewhere nice to put it. I've got this one. It's a Jack Be Little pumpkin. I've got a few of these, and like I say, with that compost, they didn't actually do very well. This one's slightly on the better side, but yeah, you can see like it's not great, but the true leaves are looking all right on it, so that's the main thing. It's growing quite well in there now, so get this in this basket and see how that goes on. And this grows small pumpkins that are about that big, like little tiny mini pumpkins. I'm hoping this is going to trail over as well. It's one of those things you don't know until you try it. So yeah, going to try that one and see if that'll trail over the side. Ow! Look at this. Didn't even notice that. Ugh. Get out of there. Right. Oh yeah, and I've got some lettuces as well. So these are all on the less healthy side. So these have all been in the greenhouse in a tub for absolutely ages. So they've been sort of held in stasis, just in water. So they're all at the size that they've been for maybe 4 weeks now. They've all been this size. So I've got a couple of different varieties there. I've got a butterhead, and that's an oak leaf one, and then some Batavia and stuff. So yeah, these will look really nice once they go in there. They should grow. I mean, these are exactly the same ones as I put in the ground, and they grow absolutely fine. So they tend to be quite resilient plants. So they'll start growing as soon as I get them in there, just to fill in the top bit really, and just to sort of give it a bit more something that you can sort of pick at all the time, because you can just tack as many leaves as you want from those varieties and they'll keep growing. So they are really good plants for using in something like a basket. So let's get this basket on the way anyway. It's got holes in the bottom already. It's got a plastic liner on this one, which is a bit better for retaining some moisture in there, especially because this is going to be going in my polytunnel anyway. The cocoa fibre baskets, like the basket liners that in those ones that I use for the tomato baskets, they tend to dry out a lot quicker because it's really warm, especially higher up where they are in the polytunnel. It's like a sauna, so they dry out a lot quicker than the plastic variety. So I'm going to use these ones just to hold that moisture in, just to sort of make sure it collects a bit better and stays dry, stays with water in it for a lot longer. So let's get those filled up with some compost. And this compost is quite dry as it is, so it's going to need a good watering once they go in there. I think I might just do this next year as well. Just all the compost I've got to get, I'm just going to get these grow bags, because this is a lot nicer and it's really cheap. In fact, it was cheaper than the bags of compost, so it's a lot better. There's hardly any sticks in it. There's the odd stick, but it's not really been sieved or anything, so it's perfectly fine. That's something I haven't got time to do. So filling it sort of about up to there really, about 2/3 up to the top, and then it's just deciding where we're going to put everything. So I think, well, we want the trailing ones around the edge. I think I'll put this I'll put the strawberry at the front. Yeah, I'll do that first. I'll put the tags in after. Actually, I'll keep that. I'll put that in there. I like keeping the tags on things. Right, so we stick that at the front there. Let's think. I'll put a cucumber. Yeah, put the cucumber next to that there. One of the things that'll happen with this as well, because it is such a small area, it is going to need feeding a lot more, just because there's less soil available to all these plants, and a couple of them are quite hungry plants, especially like the cucumber, the pumpkin. They are going to want a lot of nutrition once those fruits start growing on there. So it's going to be quite important to keep feeding it. But the other thing is as well, just having this smaller space is going to limit the size of the plants, so they aren't going to grow as big as they would say if you was going to grow them in a big pot or grow them in the ground. They won't grow as big as that, just because they don't have the space to spread out. So again, it's really handy if you've only got a small area like your balcony or whatever, because they have only got that small amount to grow into. They will only grow smaller plants. So yeah, it's really good if you're only using that small space, just to minimise the amount of sort of leaves and everything growing everywhere. So again, really good idea if you're doing that. Let's have a look. The cucumber and the pumpkin are going to be fairly similar because they're related. So let's put the tomato at the back, and where is it? Oh, there we are. And then we'll put the pumpkin on this side. I need a bit more soil to be a small one. So we'll put that there. So we're going to have that strawberry, and then we're going to have all those trailing plants coming over the sides as well. That's going to look really nice. And then what I'll do, I'll put a lettuce in between each one. Half a pop bottle cut in half, took the lid off. We'll stick that in the middle, and once everything starts growing around it, that's going to make it a bit easier for watering. And you can also fill that right up to the top, and it'll make a bit of a reservoir, so it'll all sort of fill out around it. I'll put that in a bit higher up actually, just so it doesn't miss everything. So all we've got to do now is fill it all up to the top with the compost. Sort of make sure everything's nice and covered. And what I'll do, I'll let these establish for a couple of days, just watering them normally, and then I'll start feeding them in a couple of days, just to make sure that they've got plenty of nutrition, mainly nitrogen at this point, just because at the moment we're sort of looking for leaf development, stem development, so nitrogen is the main one that we need, just to make sure that they're getting everything that they need to grow plenty of green growth. You see those lettuces, they look a bit rough, but as soon as they start growing in there, they'll be absolutely amazing. There we go, that is filled up to the top. Stick that down in the middle. And then I'll put some soil up just around the outside of it. Then when it comes to watering, just water all around the outside. You can fill that up as well in the middle, and that'll just let it go right down to the bottom. And once it becomes oversaturated with your water as well, say if it's really hot like it is today, you can fill that up, and it's going to make that nice little reservoir. So once the water level rises in there, because it's got the plastic liner, only so much can get out through the bottom, it'll make a bit of a slower release water sort of distribution thing just right in there down to the bottom. Because once these start growing, I mean at the moment I don't need that at the moment because it's sort of directing it down towards the bottom of the basket and all the roots are up here at the top, but once they all start growing and get bigger, they're going to use up all of that space that's in there. So we're going to want to fill that up with the water and make sure that there's plenty of water going into it. But yeah, that's all done. Let's go and get that hung up, stick it in the polytunnel, and then we'll come back in a couple of weeks and see how that's getting on. But that's it for today. Hopefully that has given you some really great ideas to get some hanging baskets made to grow some fantastic food, no matter how big or small your growing space is. So it's perfect for growing on your balconies or porches or anywhere that you've got a bit of room that you can stick one of those up. It's a really great idea. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for new videos every week with loads of really great projects and ideas to make the most out of your growing space, no matter how big or small it is. Let me know in the comments if you're going to be trying this or even if you do it already, and I'll see you next time.